You might think your business is profitable, but you are probably wrong. Many businesses track sales but not expenses properly. Hidden costs, eat profits, and no clear separation between revenue and net profit. In this video, I will show you how to track expenses using Google Sheets in 10 minutes. So here on my expense sheet, I have the date the expense was made. I have the category, which includes the rent, transport. I have the description. I have the amount, the payment method, as well as the month the transaction was carried out. So on our summary, we're going to be looking at the item count, the total expenses, the highest expense, and then the lowest expense. We are also going to be looking at monthly trend in terms of what we are spending month on month, as well as the percentage contribution for each month. And lastly, we are going to look at the expense per item. How much are we spending on each of the items, and what's the percentage contribution of each item to the total expenses. So to get our item count, we'll use the counter function. Equals to counter, bracket open, column B. To get our total expenses, we'll use the sum function. Equals to sum, bracket open, column D, enter. To get our highest expense for the period, we'll use the max function. Equals to max, bracket open. And to get our lowest expense, we'll use the mean function. Equals to mean, bracket open, column D. So to calculate our monthly expenses, we'll use the sum ifs function. Equals to sum ifs amount. Click on the month and we'll drag it down. To get our total contribution for each month to the total expenses for the year, we'll use the sum function. We'll divide the amount for each month by the total expenses for the year, and that will be equals to the month divided by sum total expenses. And lastly, we're going to calculate the expense for each item using the sum ifs function. Equal to sum ifs amount category. And to get a percentage contribution of each item to the total cost, we're going to divide each item by the total expenses. So in this table, we have total items 37 and total expenses 940,500. We have our highest expense at 120,000 and the lowest expense at 2,500. Also, out of the 940,500 being a total expense, in January we spent 346,500, being 36% of the total expenses. In February we spent 115,500, being 12% of the total expenses. And in March we spent 217,000, being 23% of the total expenses, and in April we spent 261,500, being 27% of the total expenses. That is to say that we spent less in February and we spent more in January. So on our item category, we spent 14,000 naira, being 1.5% of our total expenses. On internet, we spent 305,000, being 37% of our total expenses. On inventory, we spent 32,000, being 3.4% of our total expenses. On maintenance, we spent 70,000, being 7.4% of our total expenses. On marketing, we spent 12,000, being 1.3% of our total expenses. On office supplies, we spent 240,000, being 25.5% of our expenses. On rent, we spent 135,000, being 14% of our expenses. On salaries, we spent 47,000, being 5% of our total expenses. On transport, and we spent 35,500, being 3.8% of our total expenses. On utilities. Every time I add data on this sheet, my summary updates automatically, and that way I'm able to track expenses daily and not wait till the end of the month until it is too late. So this is the proper way on how to track expenses and manage costs effectively. I'll see you in the next video.